Aloha, good morning. I trust everyone's had a wonderful week and we welcome back Jane Goodsill. Welcome back, Jane. I'm very excited. One of the things was when I was reading Jane's second book, Voices of Hawaii, Volume 2, I was so intrigued by the stories and thought you might enjoy reading, from her book. And the subtitle for this book is Preserving Island History, One Story at a Time.
Island culture.
Island culture.
Preserving island culture. No, I don't have the jacket for the book.
Oh, and I just really want to welcome Jane. And, she has the emphasis on the preservation of island culture and traditions, which I appreciate more as I get older, I believe, just traditions. And as we have all the many traditions that we have over this time of year, it's always to know the Hawaiian traditions, what's happening. And one of the big happenings, of course, for the last month or two is the lava flow, the erupting volcano, of course. And there's a writing in her book on that called Ocean of Lava. And she mentions erupting volcanoes as a topical issue at the moment. We have all been following the fabulous events over on Hawaii Island as Mauna Loa erupts for the first time in 40 years. And Jane, when you were doing your research for Voices of Hawaii Volume 2, I understand you spoke to someone who explained the plumbing of volcanoes to you. So would you read to us about the plumbing of volcanoes so we understand, how does this all happen or erupt?
I would love to. And why don't you show the pictures and I'll be talking about them as I read it.
Sure.
The person that I interviewed is named Bobby Camera. He has a blog site that had a lot of information about when the volcanoes were erupting a couple of years ago, but they're very, is that the picture that's showing?
Yes.
Okay, and then there's another one that goes with it.
Oh, sure. And this
you could show them side by side. Is that possible?
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Okay, then why don't you show this one first?
Okay.
What you see there is in a Hawaiian volcano, the volcano goes up and then it explodes, and then the place where it exploded goes down and you end up with a caldera. And down in that caldera, when the volcano erupts many years later, the caldera gets filled with molten lava again. And so that's what's happening in this picture that you're looking at. There's molten lava beginning to form in the crater. So this is what Bobby says. The plumbing system of Hawaiian volcanoes is relatively simple. A hotspot underlies the island of Hawaii, and magma rises to the surface through fissures on the ocean floor. When the reservoir of magma in a volcano fills and swells to a critical point, the volcano erupts. When the supply of magma decreases, the eruption ends. That's about what's happening at Mauna Loa today. It's beginning to decrease. The amount of magma in the system fluctuates and pulses. Pressures in the system are not constant. There are times of more volume and times of less volume. Bobby says, my favorite word to describe the impact of witnessing a volcanic event is pu'iwa. It is defined in the Hawaiian dictionary as a stupefaction on account of wonder. I'm going to repeat that. It is defined as a stupefaction on account of wonder. Bobby says, I can't choose between witnessing eruptions Mauka inland or watching the streams of lava flowing down the mountainside and entering the ocean. Ocean entries are hazardous because of poisonous gases, boiling ocean, plumes of steam, and explosions strewing black sand and bits of glass into the air. It is not a friendly place. It has always mesmerized me to watch active volcano flows. The heat is accompanied by a metallic smell, what it might taste like if you licked a penny.
Oh, wow. Oh.
What you are smelling are gases escaping from the molten lava and from burning vegetation. So there are two different kinds of lava. A'a is rough, thick, and slow-moving. The flows are really noisy as the chunks fall off, as the flow scrapes along slowly forward. Most of my time has been spent watching pahoehoe, faster-moving, more fluid lava. The pahoehoe flow starts about a foot thick, and you can usually outwalk it. If there is not enough supply of molten lava to keep a particular finger moving forward, it'll stagnate and stop. But if the internal supply of molten lava begins to increase, the flow will inflate, like bread dough rising. often several feet in several hours or more. Then the flow may start moving forward again. Pools of molten lava collect inside the caldera and rise and fall. Scientific advances allow us to watch the swelling of the summit. Via tilt meters, while seismographs allow us to observe vibrations of the ground as magma moves through it during earthquakes. The brilliant invention of thermal webcams shows us exactly where the hot spots are. At one point, we were in this picture, we were watching, the one that I'm showing here, we were watching as a lake of lava in Halimau crater, the traditional home of Pele, slowly fills the crater. When you look into Halimau, you might see lava fountains on one end, while the majority of the lake is mostly crusted over. Red molten lava may show around the edges. As the lava rises up, the whole top crust lifts up, and then a circle of red lava around the outside edge begins to show. It's very exciting to watch. When an ocean of lava is really active, convection currents swirl, crustal plates form and are torn apart. Sections and skin are remelted, and waves crash on the shore. This is lava we're talking about. Videos allow us to access this. Then you can show the next slide. See how high the lava is in the caldera right there. So when this lava reaches critical points somewhere on the flank, it may begin flowing downward, which will decrease the lava in the caldera. This is what's happening on Mauna Loa right now. So when this happened, the lava erupted about 25 miles away from the floor of Halimau, and 1 billion cubic yards were erupted toward the sea. Then the summit collapsed, and instead of being 400 feet so deep, the Halimau crater ended up being 1,600 feet deep. Is that the second picture that you showed?
Yeah.
One of them, there you go.
Oh.
Go back. That's the full one, full
Yes.
crater. Now go back to the second picture. And this is after the lava had escaped from the flank. All the lava in the reservoir at the bottom of this Halimau crater had gone down 1,600 feet.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So he says, during the subsidence at the summit, we felt between 40 and 60 earthquakes daily, most between a magnitude of 3 and 4. As the floor of Halimau began to collapse, people were very concerned that we were going to have massive steam explosions. Mainland journalists started writing about the possibility of rocks the size of refrigerators flying through the air.
Oh.
I got annoyed with the sensationalism and started writing my blog to give people accurate information. It's called Dispatches from Volcano, Bobby C's Insights and Observations from the Forest.
Nice. You know, we never take the time to understand nature, and you know, it's all beautiful, but to understand what's really going on, it
was fascinating for me to hear about the plumbing system that happens in a volcano. And
yeah.
Most of the volcanoes and their vents are connected through lava tubes and pressures that happen within them. So you turn the water on, it fills up. You turn the water off, it subsides. But most of the time we don't know what's happening.
Wow. And you know, it's really interesting too. I have a home in Manoa I'm selling, and the house was built in 1910. And they were saying when they were young children, there was lava tubes underground in their backyard. And they were saying when, you know, the raining, we get a little bit of flooding here on Oahu at times, it just soaks into the land and they don't have a water problem. So it's just amazing. History is all around us.
It is amazing. There are many places on the islands where you can go and actually walk through the lava tubes.
Yeah.
Not as easily on Oahu because it's so congested. But that's an interesting story about
your
clients.
I know. I just found this last weekend and I went, whoa, you know. Thank you. Now I have to realize if that's a disclosure I have to give when I sell the house. But it's not live. It is not live. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Manoa still there.
That's right. And no live volcanoes on the island of Oahu.
No. Well, thank you again, Jane. And I look forward to our next story time from your book. And I just love learning more about the history and culture and just taking the time out. You know, oftentimes we just don't take time in our busy schedules to understand what's going on around us. And I truly appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caron.